I had to first get my coffee in real quick. Yeah, this tastes good. Anyway, it's been a whole lot of talk in regards to the Ahmaud Arbery case and whether gun owners was in the right to confront a jogger who they suspected participating, from what the story comes out, might have been a suspect in some burglaries in the area. And the outcome ended up with Mr. Arbery being killed as this thing ended. Well, let me say this, because I like to get this out the way after hearing the Atlanta mayor's comments and so many other people's comments in regards to the situation. Liberal media decides to start spinning a story out there. It gets everybody worked up because they're trying to sell a race issue. In regards to this whole matter, let me just get this clear because I don't like to waste too much time. The Department of Justice needs to stay the hell out of it. Plain and simple. I'm a Virginia governor's candidate, not a Georgia governor's candidate. This is state business in regards to this issue. And how it was handled, that is not something we know about. We don't have enough information. We don't have enough details. And the problem with videos, you don't see what happened before it led up to it. A lot of time frames when they put it out there, we don't know what has been edited. The only thing we know is we see a fight between one of the guys with Mr. Arbery, which resulted in death. We don't know the circumstances behind what was said or done. There's no audio. We don't know none of that. And for those to spin this issue into a race issue immediately, and notice it's the media doing this, that brings me a whole lot of questions, because I know how the media works. And they'll go ahead and just you saw it quickly, they put the Atlanta mayor up there saying that this whole incident, she blames Trump, and Trump wasn't the one with a gun in this issue in Georgia who shot this gentleman. We don't know what the circumstances is, but the blame game has been put all the way around the board. What we do know is police should have been called in regards to this situation before it escalated to that point. We can't spend our whole time period talking about what could have, should have, whatever. We have a justice system. In this case, we'll have to go to a jury. It'll have to be investigated thoroughly. And the outcome may or may not be in what the media wants. But what the media does want is America fighting and dividing each other in regards to this issue. Now, to say the least, I am bothered and irritated about everything that did happen that we know about. But I'm also more concerned about the fact of this becoming another race issue that a bunch of people didn't have nothing to do with. This was between 3 people. But now it has become an out of control black and white issue. The fact of the matter is, sometimes people make bad decisions. And race has nothing to do with it. Now, if it was the intent, then that takes further investigation. That's something you come out with within the first 24 to 48 hours. And there's a lot of people making knee-jerk reactions in regards to this matter. We do know a young man has lost his life in regards to this incident, and our prayers is with the family. But we do not know enough about what actually transpired. That's why I haven't came out with a statement, nor have I addressed it, except for the fact of what we see as updates that come in regards to the matter. But I think the biggest mistake groups make is by trying to invite the federal government into state business And once the matter becomes a media spectacle, it's little eyes on justice. It's more on those using it for personal vendettas or affiliations or for group propaganda, regardless of who it is. And that's when it becomes very troublesome, because people are not acting off the facts. They're acting off speculation. And when the media, I'm not a fan of how the media writes things, trust me. I know that personally. But if we are to look at this matter fairly, look closely and learn from it, there's a lot of things that could be learned from this. The fact is, all lives matter, no matter who it is, no matter where you're from, your background, or regardless. If it's murder, it requires justice. If it's self-defense, it still requires justice to be decided. However, to see how quickly the flames have been fanned in politics into this issue, justice may not be the outcome, but further division within our country that is clearly divided now more than ever because of politicians and those using it for their political benefit. And that's what it's starting to become. Now, nobody was there to see what happened other than those who are witnesses and those who recorded the video and what they give out as their version of events. It's just too early in the investigation, which of course, from what we have gathered, this happened almost a month ago before it decided to become a national issue. How I feel about race bait, what I call race bait politics, where people send me an issue in regards to the fact they want to hear what I have to say, and they just want me to have a gotcha moment. And that's what it boils down to, by trying to get me involved in this issue. Well, I'm going to just give them a straight answer. The Department of Justice has no business into it. People cry for a federal investigation all the time, and trust me, it has rarely ever been a case to come out of the federal investigations in any department, whether it's FBI or whatever, in regards to a state issue. And it's a waste of time and resources. It's nothing more than just trying to add more distance or more skepticism to a case. And people have a right to a trial by jury. I want people to have due process. But for me personally, I would not be calling for the Department of Justice as a media backup plan in regards to this investigation. The states need to take over, and the state investigators, whoever they find as neutral in regards, need to handle state business. And this is a state issue. Georgia has the manpower and they have the resources to handle this investigation. And I feel confident that the right outcome, regardless of what it is, will come out. But to put the federal government in regards to this case is going to do more harm than good in all communities, because they will feel that, one, if the federal government doesn't open up an investigation, or they say it's not a hate crime related incident, then of course they blame the federal government for them ignoring it, when the federal government shouldn't have been involved in the first place. Now, if this is a matter of a hate crime, not because it's a black versus white issue, and the federal government has jurisdiction in the matter, they need to decide that one sooner than later. But the fact is, it's not enough to warrant even the inquiry when this is in the first stages of the criminal justice process. So to see this happen, and to see the hostility, the hateful messages, the defense of those who was carrying the gun, and the defense of the jogger, I understand both sides of the issue, but we got to be wise and smart enough and concerned enough not to let the liberal media spin more division into this issue instead of waiting for the facts to come out in regards. I believe our justice system isn't perfect. I can say that part by far. But I do have belief that the right outcome in this matter will come out. And that's the reason why when I saw the Atlanta mayor put out, I blame this person or the Department of Justice is getting involved in this matter, I said exactly, this is the wrong way to handle this. The wrong way. This happened in a particular locality. Had it been a black person doing this to a black person, would it have the same coverage? Would it have the same coverage if it was a white person who did this to another white person? Think about it. But now it's an issue that people are taking to another level. And we've seen this in Charlottesville. We have seen this in civil rights areas and more, where incidents like this has happened and people have felt like justice was not served. And a lot of it is because the media spent this so much out of control. You couldn't get a jury to look at the facts because the jury already had their mind made up prior. And once you have that, you have hung juries. You have people not looking at the facts. You have people putting their own personal interests into the verdict. And that's what happens when you make it into a national scene, especially with spin doctors all over the place. So my response is directly that Georgia needs to handle Georgia business. The Department of Justice needs to wait until there is facts that's warrant a hate crime investigation, but to also yield to the state to allow them to handle their criminal justice matters within their state without outside interference, except for only to help with gathering facts, not help with taking over the investigation from those within that state that deserves justice. So my number one thing in regards to this, I'll tell both sides to keep calm. Be in prayer, number one. Do not act into your own interpretation. Do not let the media dictate your own independent mind and find out the facts for yourself, which I'm doing. I'm telling everybody else who I know to do the same exact thing. But we are not going to decide the outcome here in Virginia. The outcome is going to be decided in Georgia where it happened. And however it ends, I hope justice is served. And that's my position on it. So for those who want to tag me to race-related issues or whatever, start tagging me to stuff that's not race associated, not in a negative connotation. I want to hear about or be tagged to issues that mean not adding division. And what it means is I came out and somebody sends me a tag and says, this man was black and this person is white, but this white person attacked this black person. But would you have sent me the same message had it been somebody white attacking somebody white? That's what I'm meaning by that. And we have too many time periods where other families that deserve justice and more and our attention, the same way as this issue deserves justice and more, they get lost in the divisiveness that's going on compared to issues that can definitely deserve the attention so other people don't have to go down the same path. We have people killing each other in domestic violence issues that doesn't get this type of attention. We have people killing their own neighbor that doesn't get this type of attention, but it doesn't make their lives any less. The fact is, tragedies are tragedies. And we hope that this would be a learning lesson for those not to act in the same way so we can prevent stuff like this. But we can't go down the road and become murderers or those who cast judgment without knowing the facts about what happened. And I don't believe at this time period enough facts have been put out there. I believe it has been a lot of attention brought onto this issue. And I do feel for the families in regards. But let the justice system, let the investigators do their job and allow the state to handle state business first. Now, if the state needs extra resources or needs more time to investigate further, that's what they need to do. I want, like everybody else wants, regardless of race or regardless of background, we want justice served, and those who need to be punished, punished. But we cannot, for ourselves, with what we know now, cast a verdict of innocence or guilt in regards to this matter. And that's where I stand on it. So this is me just being a straight shooter, letting you know how I feel. I'm in prayer for the families, and I hope that we all learn from this on how to handle this in a different way so people do not die. And once more facts come out, I will speak later in regards to the issue. But for right now, we need to pray for the family, pray for all families in regards. And at this time period, they're facing their darkest hour. So at this time, I hope everybody understands that not everything is a race issue. Some things is just an ignorance issue. And I hope that people learn from this. So this is Merle Rutledge, the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia, and I'm responding in regards to this case. The DOJ needs to stay out of it. The liberal media needs to be more responsible in their reporting, and politicians need to shut the hell up in regards to blaming others and making this for political benefit. And that's just how I feel. I feel like anything I say to this will probably be considered political benefit. And I'm all about justice in regards to this matter. So until we see the facts, please reserve judgment and allow them to come out responsibly. And you have a great day.